So you're thinking about making a move to San Antonio, Texas. In this video, Steve and I are going to give you the pros and the cons of living in Alamo Heights. This is one of the most prestigious suburbs of San Antonio, and you want to make sure you hear every pro and every con to help make your decision on whether Alamo Heights is the right place for you. If this is your first time to our channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in San Antonio and its surrounding areas, make sure you subscribe or tap the bell for notifications to ensure that you're one of the first to get notified when we drop a new video. My name is Katie Powers, and my husband Steven Garza and I get phone calls and emails from people just like you every single day who are looking to make a move into the area. Whether you're 6 days or 6 months away, we would absolutely love to hear from you. All of our information is listed right below in the description box, and Steve and I would be honored to be your realtors of choice to help you make that smooth transition into San Antonio. Now let's dive into the pros and cons of Alamo Heights. Pro number one for Alamo Heights is its location. Now, it is just centrally located and close to everything. It's also been voted number 8 out of over 1,000 cities in Texas as one of the top places to live in Texas. Now, the location is so prime because you're really only 3 miles to the airport, which depending on traffic will take you about 5-7 minutes. And then you're only 5 miles into downtown San Antonio, which will take you about 10 to 15 minutes depending on the time and traffic. So if you're working downtown San Antonio, Alamo Heights is going to be a prime location for you. So it's a quick, easy trip downtown to the Riverwalk and to all the things to do, and an easy trip if you're a commuter and have to fly for work or for fun. You're really easy access to the international airport. And one of the top things that I love about Alamo Heights with its location this close to the airport is you really don't get the airplane noise. You may hear it off in the distance, but the flight pattern isn't flying directly over Alamo Heights. So you get the convenience of the airport without all that crazy loud airport noise.
Pro number 2. Schools. Alamo Heights has arguably one of the best school districts in San Antonio, if not the best. I'm a little biased. I went to Boerne, and we always had a rivalry growing up, and so the Boerne kids will say Boerne education's better. The Alamo Heights kids will say Alamo Heights is better. Who's ranking them? Anyways, a great school district nonetheless. It is one of the top rated school districts in San Antonio. According to niche.com, it is number 1 in San Antonio as well. So I once had a client tell me that her child is getting a private school education in a public school. That's a huge statement from one of my clients that swears by Alamo Heights, will never move out of Alamo Heights until the kids are out of school. So schools are a huge draw to Alamo Heights.
Pro number 3, Alamo Heights is a safe community. Now, if you watch our Alamo Heights vlog, I do hit on this point because the kids had just gotten out of school and we were obviously filming all the great homes there in Alamo Heights. And there were kids riding their bikes everywhere. There weren't really a lot of adults around, but I think that in and of itself just shows what a safe community it is when parents let their children, ride bikes around the neighborhood unsupervised. That's a big deal, and you don't really see that a lot in the world today. So in Alamo Heights, it really feels just like a little bubble. Niche.com vote Alamo Heights as the number 1 place to live in San Antonio for safety. And it's also ranked number 6 out of 420 other suburbs throughout Texas as one of the top places to live as well. So overall, all of the rankings for Alamo Heights are all up at the top 1 to 5, 1 to 6, really, because it's just a great place to live. And that safety is a big deal. Feeling like you can let your kids play, and they're just friendly. So lots of people are walking their dogs and walking around the neighborhood. They're going to start conversations. You're going to say hello to them and meet their dogs. It's just a very friendly, safe community.
Pro number 4, things to do. Alamo Heights is chock full of things to do. You have your grocery store within the community. You have a ton of little shops, boutiques. That's just one little aspect of things to do. You know, when you think about living in a community, you always think about groceries, right? You want your grocery store close. Well, most do, unless you're thinking country. But yes, I mean, I love having my grocery store less than 5 minutes from me. I go 2 to 3 times a week to get fresh vegetables. And so having things to do, such as grocery shopping in your community, is great. So in Alamo Heights, you have great family locations like the San Antonio Zoo. I love taking my kids to the zoo. It's just a fun time always. And aside from that, you also have parks, Breckenridge Park. You have golf courses throughout the community of Alamo Heights, which I love to play golf if that's your thing. And you also have the Doozeum. Great family location where you take the kids and they just have a ton of hands-on things to do with the kids. So you can keep them engaged, wear them out a little bit, and go home. And then you also have movie theater. I mean, everybody loves the movies, and so taking the family to the movie is convenient with it being right there. You just have all these conveniences within Alamo Heights, and so I love the area. Having many things to do is always a great time with the family. Well, with those 4 pros, there's always cons within a community. And the first con is the cost of the real estate. Alamo Heights average or median price point for a home is $837,000, which blows San Antonio out of the water. You can get into Alamo Heights for $600,000. There's also a condo video that we're going to be dropping soon that will have condo living in Alamo Heights, which is pretty big for San Antonio. We just don't have a lot of condos, but the cost of a house is up there. And there's many, many $1-million homes in Alamo Heights, with the median being $837,000, and the average dollar per square foot is $354. Think about that. That's huge for San Antonio. And so it's definitely con number 1 is the cost of real estate.
So con number 2 is taxes. Now the tax rate is pretty common for the San Antonio area. It's ranging between 2.08 and 2.37%. But as Steve mentioned, with the higher sales prices of the homes, with that percentage, those taxes are going to be hefty. So it is very common to see taxes ranging from $15,000 all the way up to $60,000. If you watch our vlog, I show you an absolutely amazing $3+ million home. And I almost choked a little when I saw the taxes were over $60,000 a year. So it just correlates with the sales price. So you do want to keep that in mind. You are getting some of the best schools, you are getting a great location, and therefore the sales prices and taxes are a bit higher because it is so sought after.
Con number 3 is soil movement. What does that mean? So all homes have a foundation, right? And within that foundation, it's sitting on soil or standing on soil. In Alamo Heights, you have many older homes and some newer homes, some on pier and beam and some on slab. And so depending on your foundation, what it's in is very important, right? It's holding your house up. It is one of the most important parts of your home. And in that area, in Alamo Heights, we have what's called clay bands. And clay bands run throughout San Antonio. Predominantly, the middle to southern part of San Antonio. Northern part gets rocky, but in the downtown area, the Alamo Heights area, you definitely have a lot of clay in the soil, and that means expansion and contraction, which plays havoc on the foundations in the area. So if you're on a pier and beam home, you can get that wavy factor within a house as one pier sinks and the other one's still standing. And then on a slab, you get that leaning factor, or in some cases it does crack, and that plays havoc on the house itself, creating cracks throughout it, plumbing, you name it. So if you're looking for a home in Alamo Heights, you definitely want to always be aware of the soil, what's underneath it. Many of the homes have had foundation work done, but it's just something you really want to keep in mind because it is a concern for the homeowners that live in the area.
All right, and this brings us to con number 4, which is homes are older in Alamo Heights. The age of these homes range. Alamo Heights got started around 1920s. It started getting a lot more homes built closer to the 50s. So you're gonna have dated homes. Now the good news is at these sales prices, a lot of these owners have renovated the homes. Now the key thing to look out for is when was the last time it was renovated, right? When it's a 1920s home, it's very likely to need 4, 5, 6 renovations in its time span, right? Things come out of date, back into style, all those things. So just something to keep in mind. But I will just throw in there a little pro along with that con. Because these homes are so much older, they have so much more character in them, and they have lots of unique architecture features. You'll see colonial homes and Victorian homes and craftsman homes. Because it's such a wide range of ages, you just get this really cute, quaint, unique, different feel in Alamo Heights from all of the architecture. So while you do have to look out for the taxes and your foundation and the age of the home, you do get all of that character that you really don't get in the rest of San Antonio because there's so many homes built from the 90s up, right? So that is all we have for the pros and cons for Alamo Heights. Overall, it's an absolutely amazing suburb, one of the most sought after, right next to Fair Oaks Ranch and Boerne. It is an elite and prestigious area. If you just take a drive through it, I promise you're gonna fall in love with it. It's absolutely beautiful. So I hope this was helpful and informative for you. If you have any questions or are interested in moving in the area, please feel free to drop us a message, or all of our information is listed below. Steve and I would absolutely love to hear from you, and we will see you guys on the next one.